Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Drinks and Discussions, the After Party. I will be your host this evening. Maybe we'll be joined by a few others. But tonight I've got some few new things that I'd like to talk to you guys about. Did you hear what Marjorie Taylor Greene said today? Also, is Shaq going to be my new neighbor? Got a movie review too, also want to talk about. So, welcome to the After Party, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and let's get after it. Let me mute that. How's everybody doing today? How is everyone doing? Let me get off this screen here. There I am. How's everyone? Got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm going to try to do some things that I have never done before in the chat. Because I'm going to try to show you guys a couple of things as I discuss what I've heard today. But I also wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of some new developments and in the current events that I had thought was kind of interesting to talk about. Plus, I may have a new neighbor in our area, so stay tuned for that. I got a great movie review, or not a great one, but a movie review that one of our viewers, C. Allen, has suggested. I didn't get a chance to cover it all last night, so I wanted to talk about that as well. So let's get after it. I see I've got some followers out there in the chat. Liz, hello, good evening to you. You got your lemon iced tea. I was going to drink a beer tonight because it's still so hot. But I had to change a brake light in our car, and I also wanted to do a cigar, but it's just too hot to be outside tonight. It's 8:42, and I'm sure it's still probably 95 degrees right now. Let me just tell you what it is actually right now outside. It says that the temperature at 8:42 right now is, it says it's 88 degrees, but it feels like 93 with the heat index. So that's too hot for me to be sitting outside with a cigar lit up. So I am drinking a little Knob Creek tonight. I'm a little scruffy around the edges here. I didn't shave. I haven't shaved all week, I don't think. So welcome again. Let's get after it. I want to start off with maybe I can give the movie review first. How about that? If I can give the movie review and then get into some other things, maybe I'll get the boring stuff out of the way. So the movie that I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to try to get it up on the screen here real quick. I had never heard of it. And hey, Thumper88, what's going on, Chief? Good to see you, man. And I'm going to try to get this on here on the screen so that you guys can see the information that I'm looking at. Let's go here. Let's do it like this. There you go. It's called The 25th Hour. It was done in 2002. I had never heard of it. And thanks for rubbing that in, Liz, at 63 degrees in your house. That's a very nice, comfortable 63 degrees. So this was recommended by C. Allen, who is a follower or viewer of our stream Drinks and Discussions. Hey, C. Allen, he just joined it here right there. And C. Allen, I'm not telling anybody that you said that it was a great movie or even gave me your opinion of the movie. You threw a movie out. I watched it, and I'm just going to give you my honest opinion because, again, I enjoy movies. I'm not a movie critic, but in my afterlife, I hope to become one. So, as you can see in the description, talks about the 25th hour depicts the last days of a guy who is about to serve a 7-year prison term for a drug-related crime. And he's really not, up until the very end, he's not sure how he ended up getting pinched by the police and being discovered. And because they found a large quantity of drugs in his apartment under the couch. It was sewn into the cushions of the couch. And he never could figure out who was responsible for tipping the police off to find him. I did not know Spike Lee was directing this movie. I did not know whatchamacallit, Edward Norton was in this movie. I didn't know Philip Seymour Hoffman was in this movie. All these people in here that were big actors. Had no idea that they were in this movie. So here's the deal. I expect more from the actors that are in this movie. I thought it was the premise. I thought, man, this is going to be a really good movie. How could it go wrong with Edward Norton Jr. and all these other actors in it? But it just fell flat to me. I thought it was sloppily put together. It seems like they ran out of information when they were writing the script for this, and they said, hey, let's just put it together the way it is. I watched it all. I didn't stop it and then have to watch it again. So I watched it in one sitting. Rosario Dawson, I thought, was maybe the one performers of this movie that didn't necessarily suck. Also, Barry Pepper. I didn't think Barry Pepper sucked in this movie either. It just didn't. They didn't develop the characters enough for me to want to kind of really get involved in this movie. It kind of jumped around in spots, and then there were some issues at the ending where it kind of went and did this forward kind of a thing, and then they kind of brought you back to reality. I didn't understand that part of it either. But there was a lot of questions I had. They didn't develop his boss, that whoever he was selling drugs for. They could have developed his character a little bit more. There was just a lot of character development issues in this movie. I would say, and it's got a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes, an 85% Rotten Tomato score. I wouldn't have put it that. I think Rotten Tomatoes is 79 actually. I don't think I'd put it that high. I would give it, out of 5 stars, I would give it 2.5 stars, and only because I think it lacked in quality of character utilization and character backstory and character development. It was just see, Alan, it was the at the end with the dad. I kind of was wondering what the hell happened when they gave you that little glimpse, if you will. I didn't really care for it a whole lot. So, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell everybody I'm going to agree and get everybody to share the same take on the movies that you suggest for me to watch. But I will watch them. If I have the time, I'll watch it. And then I'll be able to give you my honest opinion about what it is. 61 is a great movie, I believe. I've seen that, Liz. I think that was the one with Chadwick Boseman. He played Jackie Robinson, I believe. And that's a great movie, I believe. I believe I have seen it. If that's what you're talking about. I might be wrong. So, if you want to suggest, if you want to watch this movie, I think it's easily available to stream anywhere you like. And if you want to see it on my Plex server, just let me know, and I'll give you access to us. If you want to watch this particular movie, I'll give you a 24-hour access to my Plex account, and then you can watch it for yourself and tell me what you think. Any movie that we watch here, if you haven't seen it, let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. I think someone told me yesterday in the live stream of another movie that I was supposed to watch. And by the way, I will tell you, Team Skeptic, if you ever watch this show, I did try to look for that Gary Coleman. I'm calling him Arnold from Different Strokes. Gary Coleman movie. I had tried to stream it, but nobody has it available to download. I didn't want to purchase the movie, but it looked kind of hilarious. Like it's really a B movie, or maybe even a C or D movie. But I didn't see it. I think it was midget wrestling or midget something. He made a suggestion for me to watch. But I did try to get it, but I actually was not able to. Another suggestions, guys, and I've got some A Bronx Tale I have seen. Sleepers is a good movie. Is that the one with Robert Redford and Sidney Poitier's in that movie, I believe, too? Sleepers? Is that the one when they're trying to steal something? Tell me what Sleepers. Who's in Sleepers? I got to refresh my recollection. on that one. And yeah, Jackie, I think it is about the Babe Ruth. I forgot because Jackie Robinson is like 62, not 61. Yeah, what you talking about, Willis? It's hilarious. Okay, so the movie review is out. It's over. I'm glad. Thank you, C. Allen, for sharing it with me. I really appreciate that. Um, More suggestions, please. Let me know what they are, and I'll keep watching them. I really appreciate that, you guys. It has been a really crazy, crazy day. Robert De Niro and Kevin Bacon sleepers is Kevin. I mean, I'm batting zero for, for like 3 or 4 movies here. Sleepers with De Niro and Kevin Bacon. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with De Niro and Kevin Bacon, but I will check that one out. And also, 61, I will check that one out as well. Gary Coleman was A Sad Life, and I actually, when I was looking up the movie for Team Skeptic, I had noticed that I had actually forgot how Gary Coleman was a child actor that did quite a few movies. There was a train movie that I remember seeing that I tried to get, I couldn't get that one, and there was some other the kid with the high IQ. He had some really good movies as a child actor. And when he got older, I guess, when you're that young and you're exposed to a lot of stuff that he was exposed to, there's not a whole lot of success stories when it comes to kid actors in Hollywood. And yeah, he and, the daughter or the sister on Different Strokes, Dana Plato, she died a sad death as well. So um, it's sad to see that Todd Bridges is the only one alive from that sitcom. It's kind of crazy, and he was just on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. No, I don't know if you guys are big fans of that, but my wife and I, we have watched it, and we kind of enjoyed Celebrity Big Brother. All right, so we got more viewers coming in. We appreciate you guys coming in and joining us. Again, this is just the after party, just talking about some things that we didn't get to yesterday. And this is going to be, if anybody does want to come on the Discord channel and talk about it, let me know. Yeah, Drew Barrymore ended up doing okay, but she hit some rocky roads during her, and she's always open to talking about those things as well. But yeah, she's a success story, but there's not too many of them. There's very few success stories, and when they do end up being really good and level-headed adults, it makes you smile because I grew up around that same era with Drew Barrymore. I think we're about the same age. Maybe she's maybe a little older, but that same age group. So it's good to see her doing the exact same thing that she has always been doing. I love her in Adam Sandler movies. So anyway, let me get to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. And I really want to know if you guys are okay with this. I mean, I have never put a video on our live streams, Drinks and Discussions, or with the after party. But when I was sending things out from the last few videos, the last night's video, I actually wanted to talk about Lauren Boebert, who I think is probably one of the least intelligent individuals in our country's politics. Not to be outdone or outshined by, oh man, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I didn't catch on to the story enough from yesterday. But I know you guys have heard about it now if you're, watch current events. And just if you have to watch, I look on my phone and there's the news icon on you. If you're an Apple iPhone guy, there's the news app that comes already installed on your phone. I always look at that throughout the day, see some stories, and then I do Yahoo for my browser, and I see stories that kind of come up and down all day long. So I wasn't aware that there was a tampon shortage or a potential tampon shortage. And yeah, you guys are talking about this. The Goonies is probably by far one of my favorite movies growing up, and every kid in that movie, minus Corey Feldman, ended up being pretty dang level-headed and did good for themselves. And Chunk is a entertainment lawyer, so he is doing very well for him, and he represents a few people that are on from that Goonies as actors as well. Hey, Pat Riot. I don't really know what you're talking about when drinking liberals, when I haven't even given my opinion of whatever we're talking about. But if you want to come on here and call people liberals or whatever the case may be, I'm just talking about common sense, not about politics as far as left or right. I consider myself to be a centrist. I'm an independent, so I want to make sure that I understand and I hold the people on both sides of the party to a higher standard of intelligence when it comes to things that are going on in the country. So, back to what I was talking about. And thanks, by the way, Pat Riot, for joining. I appreciate that. Coming in and voicing your opinions. That's what this is, Drinks and Discussions is about. So anyway, the tampon shortage. There is, because of the high price of cotton, there is a shortage in the supply of either the manufacturing of tampons, and then that's putting the stores and the other outlets are running low on the supply of tampons for women. So I'm going to share, I thought it was hilarious, and then I thought, man, this has got to be some type of joke. But then I start seeing other outlets playing the same clips, and everybody's like, this cannot be true. Do you hear a audio in the background, guys? Is there something going on in the background that I'm not coming in clear? I heard C. Allen said something. Okay. Well, if my voice is not coming in clearly, or if there's a background noise, please let me know. I just turned the gain down a little bit. Maybe that helps. But anyway, so I'm going to play what I thought was the most egregious misstep in intelligence I've seen in a while. And she says a lot of things that just don't make sense. So I want you guys to give me your take on what you think. If you think that this is smart, I don't know. Just give me your opinions, guys. So I'm going to play this, and I'm going to talk as we doing it, because I've never done this before, so I don't know if there's going to be a copyright strike or anything like that. And Megan has joined us. Hello, Megan. Good to see you again in the after party. But I'm going to play this, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. Here we go. Let me see if the volume is not. I don't hear the volume. Hold on. Let me start this over. Oh, come on. Okay.
Right now,
Yeah.
is this a joke?
No, it's not a joke.
Change that volume. Let me start this one more
You're
time,
telling me that
folks.
this
All
is
right.
legit.
I'm telling you the truth.
Let me start it over one more
Look it up.
time because I didn't have
Look
the
it up on the
volume
internet.
set the right way.
Everything's true on the internet.
Again,
Been completely
I'm sorry.
invaded.
It's my first time.
Men have taken over everything. They're women of the year in every category, in women's categories. And the latest news is, Brian, that now there's a shortage of tampons, and that's probably because men are buying tampons. And
Is this breaking news right now?
Yeah.
Is this a joke?
No,
So
it's not.
men are
Are
buying
you
tampons.
No.
telling me that this is legit?
I'm telling you the truth. You can look it
We
up.
have that many.
Look it up on the internet. Everything's true on the internet.
We have that many beta males that are buying into this agenda that they can menstruate. This is crazy.
No.
It makes
Absolutely.
zero
They
sense,
put
folks.
tampons in men's bathrooms.
And they're just this.
Yes, so the war on women.
So-
I was just bringing that up.
What? Can somebody tell me what is going on here? I know you heard what I heard, and I think she's trying to say that, that because there is, it's Pride Month, and there's a thing where, there's transitioning, people are transitioning to a different sex, whether it be a man into a woman or a woman into a man. So is she saying that if because a woman or man is a transsexual, that they automatically want to start inserting tampons in themselves for no reason? Again, Pat Riot, you does this make sense to you? Does this make any kind of sense? It doesn't have to be common sense. Does it make any sense at all to you? I'd like to hear from you. because this is not a a liberal thing or a right conservative thing. This is just bonkers. Because if you are a person in the government and if inflation's high, gas prices are high, those things are concerning to all Americans. Instead of trying to go off the script here and say some things that are just absolutely flat out stupid, make an argument on why there is a supply issue. Why is there high gas prices? Show us something about if there's a high cost of cotton. Why is the price of cotton going up? Tell me what's going on. That it to me makes no sense, and how anybody can sit there. Why this is a coherent statement? I'm just baffled. And again, I'm not trying to say that I'm smarter than anybody, but this particular person is notorious for saying a lot of the most bonker things that they are out there. Oh, Megan used to say her Discord just shut down. So, again, Megan, if you want to come in here, feel free. I'm just talking about things that we missed, some things that I actually wanted to, talk about, and some new things that I was going to talk about as well. Hello, Truth Teller. Yeah. And so, speaking of Truth Teller, what's going on? Hey, Freedom Fighter. Hey, Chief. How you doing today, buddy? I think you have the way to get into the live chat. If you want to just jump on here and voice your opinions as well, feel free to do so. But if you guys are watching the hearings on January 6th, does anybody feel as if they're a Trump supporter, they feel cheated, they feel robbed, bamboozled, that he is a man that knew that he was going to lie to everyone in order to get things stirred up and continue to have this power and this grip on Americans, and just lie to y'all? And I made this point yesterday about if you were a preacher or if you're in a religion and the preacher was caught stealing or having intermarital sex or fornicating or whatever, would you just stop being a Baptist or a Catholic or a Christian because of that person? Or would you say, well, he's a man of God, so I'm still going to follow him no matter what he decides he wants to do? Or do you say, hey, man, you're out of this church and we're going to find somebody else better that actually lives and has the same values that we hold so dearly as part of our religion? What do you guys think? And I'm going to try to not talk so much, and I'm going to read you guys' things in the chat. But so bear with me as I'm going through here and trying to read some of the things. So Pat Wright said, this clearly was a point to show how the left believes that men can have periods. I don't know anybody who is a Democrat that believes men can have periods, Pat Wright. This is something she construed. And I think that's more of an argument that the conservatives on the right are saying. They have this misnotion of what people who transitions actually means. So this didn't come from the left. Don't try to put this on anybody on the left. This is something that's a talking point that she and Lauren Boebert have already said. She actually even said that there's a Pete Buttigieg, I believe, he's a gay member of the White House staff, and she wanted to make sure that they don't come into her daughter's bathroom. I mean, gay men don't go into women's bathrooms. That's another misnotion that comes from the right. C. Allen, according to the gender fluid world we live in, to some people, a man can have a vagina and a woman can have a penis. What she's referring to is that some schools require tampons in men's room. I have never seen anyone say that in schools are required to have tampons in the men's room. And by the way, so what if they did? That's not an influx of the supply chain that would cause a shortage. You think men want to have periods? No, I don't think so. Now, if you're talking about women who are trying to transition into a man, and that person wants to go in and use the men's bathroom, there are two things that I will probably bet my money on. they don't like their women parts if they're transitioning to be a man, and if they do or are on their cycle, then they probably will have something in their backpack, their pockets of their own, that would, so that the schools wouldn't really have to supply those. But again, I don't know. But again, I don't think that argument holds water as far as that creates a shortage in the tampon supply. I'm not saying, I don't know what Fernando said to Liz about being not valid. I missed that part. Just looking for a drama I'm just looking for a drama-free stream. Thankfully, I found one. Kudos to you. Thanks, Truth Teller. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, this is, no matter what you guys believe in or what you want to say in the chat, I'm always going to come with you guys with respect, and I appreciate everybody's opinion. Not saying that my opinions or my perspective is right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just here to express it. Hope you guys feel like this is a safe place for you can also express your views and your opinions as well without any type of strong pushback. I'm just looking forward to someone to tell me, explain to me why they believe what they believe when it comes to certain topics. Pat Riot, so you believe that Biden received more votes than Obama? Come on, man. Go watch 2,000 Mules. Listen, man, I have not seen that documentary about 2,000 Mules, but I will tell you that I think that in the climate that Trump actually created, I do believe that there was so many people from the Republican Party that was just so fed up with Donald Trump's nonsense that they switched, and they did, and everybody voted. There was a lot of people who, even if they weren't a Republican, just wanted Trump out. And that's why I think the high turnout was what it was in the voting in 2020. Now, listen, we've been waiting for somebody to, show us something that says, hey, this is fraud was here, fraud was there. There was something that was going on. The hearings are all telling you everybody who Donald Trump hired and put in his campaign or his office in the White House all told him there was nothing irregular about that election. Now, you can sit there and tell me, you don't believe that Biden got all these votes. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not a real big Biden fan. I am not. I don't believe that Biden should be our president because I do believe he's too old to be our president. But when you look at the two, and I think because you have a polished Republican or a polished politician, I think a lot of people wanted to see that type of dignitary in holding that office. Someone who has the polishedness, I don't know if that's a word, but who is more polished in politics, even when it comes to international policies and diplomacy. I don't think that was something that was, really necessarily there when Trump was president. It's a one-party commission. I'm not sure what you're saying there, C. Allen, when you're talking about one-party commission. I'm not a straight party anything. I believe my father raised me as, in order to make a very educated decision, you got to know all the facts before you make that decision. And I try to gather as many facts as I can. I know, even from a local perspective, I know that there are local representatives that I just don't agree with, whether they're Democrat or Republican. And I won't vote for even a state senator that doesn't, put my things that I think our local community will actually benefit from. But so if somebody on the other side is that person, I vote for that person. And you know what? Kataja Jackson, and I know she was the Supreme Court nominee, or she's the new Supreme Court justice. There's a lot of pundits out there who agreed with her. What is the definition of a woman? I don't know the answer to that. You can always say if a person has a vagina, there's a woman. She's a woman. There's surgeries that people can go out and get, and they can take a penis and turn it into a vagina. Does that make that person a woman? Okay. So it's a very controversial subject. I get it. I don't have all the answers. I'm not even fully understanding. I don't understand the whole, gay and lesbian and transgendered society. I don't. I don't have the answers to all that. Um, so high and so high. You mean? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pat Ryan. It's not so high insight. It's so in hindsight. So in hindsight, we should be in this horrible position with Trump in the White House. Um, I don't know, because the economy was tanking while Trump was in the White House. So yeah, I think that the economy was kind of going this direction with Trump in the White House. If you are not familiar with, the unemployment numbers were sky high because of COVID-19, and um, there was a lot of economic things that were going on in the last year of Trump's presidency. So a lot of people were saying that, Biden didn't come in and get like stellar numbers that Trump had when his first 2 years of presidency, which everybody knows Trump inherited a great economy that was left over from the Obama administration. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna let you sit there and call me a liar because no one knows in hindsight what could have transpired. But I'm not one of those people who sits there and tries to play the great prognosticator on what things could have been or how they would have been if Trump was. Would he have done a better job pulling out of Afghanistan? Would he have done a better job with Putin in the invasion of the Ukraine? Why play those games? It didn't happen. He's not president. So who's to know what he would have done? But all I do know is what I'd like to hear from you, Pat, is that now that you know that he knew and everybody on his team knew there was no fraud, the election wasn't stolen, how do you feel about a person who was supposed to be the president lying, stealing money from people, $240 million stole from people, saying he was going to put a defense fund together to help fight the elections and used none of it to help fight the supposedly stolen election? What say you regarding that? So what do you say? No, well, see, Alan, listen, no one said that there wasn't some type of, and remember, there was a lot of people who actually tried to vote twice for Trump. And they were all caught. So not all, I would say, but they were caught when there has been some types of fraud or attempted fraud in the voters' election, in the election of 2020. A lot of them had been caught. So, I'm not sure, see, Alan, what you mean, that particular episode in which he went out there to all these different places. Are you sitting here trying to refute the claim that this election was a free and fair election? Are you still trying to hold on to that premise that the election was stolen and there were a lot of illegitimate votes for Biden on Biden's behalf? Because I'm sure, we are both pretty educated individuals, and I appreciate our discord that we always had. But are you trying to tell me that you still believe that the election was not a free and fair election? What say you? Yeah, and I'm with you, Liz. People do want an honest, intelligent experience and dignity from their politicians and leaders. I will tell you, I'm not a big politicians fan. I think there are a lot of shady crap that we just don't know. And every politician has a lot of stuff that they do behind the scenes. They're giving their families jobs, their aunts, their uncles, cousins, and friends, all these jobs and paying them a lot of money. There's all these PACs that they put in there and they hire people to run these things. It's a shady deal. I don't know what it is that is going to take for somebody to get in there and that's being honest, but I also believe that people like power. So when you have politicians that want to continue having power and they get perks and they can do all these types of things, there's a lot of people who just don't want to let that go, and they will sink to most any level in order to regain that kind of a power. So, I don't trust. I'm not. This is not a podcast to stand up for politicians. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But I'm also looking for facts here. I mean, we're all making speculative comments about what would have happened if Trump was still in power. Let's talk about the facts. The facts are the committee has shown nobody in Donald Trump's political atmosphere was on board with him telling the American people that it was stolen. There are a lot of people in trouble because they are trying to promote a fraud to the American people. Yeah, there was a lot of there's a lot of people who are getting voted are knocked off the ballots for phony signatures when they're trying, because I think you have to have a certain amount of signatures in order to be put on the ballot, and a lot of them were actually being they were forgeries or something like that. I see what you're saying over there, truth teller. Um, I think that some shady stuff. Remember when they were talking about the suitcase and all that kind of stuff, and how people were saying that there was a big load of suitcases that showed up overnight in one of those things. All those things have been debunked. And if there was a website that went around and now it's no longer available, I'm assuming that somebody debunked it and they said that it was flagged for misrepresentation or whatever they flagged that crap for now on YouTube and Twitter and all these other places. I don't even want Trump in 2024, but go watch 2,000 Meals just to see what Dinesh D'Souza found. You know that Dinesh D'Souza has been found out to be a fraud. He's a con man, and there is no factual basis. I'll promise you. Who was saying that? Pat Riot. I will watch it. I will watch 2,000 Mules. I will watch it because I know what's been out there and people have been talking about it, and I can't talk about it if I haven't seen it. So I know you keep mentioning it. I do know who D'Souza is and how he was one of the founding members of the insurrection on January 6th. He was one of the big promoters of that. So I will hold judgment on 2,000 Mules until I actually see it. But I will come back and talk to you about it. If you ever see Drinks and Discussions coming back on, whether it be the after party or it be the regular show on Tuesday, please let me know. Megan, I don't know. I see you're muted, but I see you're still there. Just wanted to say hello to you. So again, I still didn't see a whole lot of comments about what you guys think about Marjorie Taylor Greene. While we're on this subject, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, what do you guys think about the explosive information about Lauren Boebert? Now, again, more and more news outlets are starting to report that again, she was a sex worker. She was introduced by one of the Cox brothers to Ted Cruz, and when she was working as an escort, Ted Cruz was the one who kind of told her she should probably try to run for a Senate seat, and donated $175,000. $175,000. $74,000 in which she did not claim. Ted Cruz got audited or something, and they found out that there was a discrepancy, and that's how they found out that she did not claim that money. So I don't care, again, if she's a sex worker. I think people who do that, more power to you if you can make money doing that. Fans only. I've never been on that site, but I know it's a big thing now, and people can make a lot of side money doing it. Now, this is where I have a problem with the hypocrisy. Same kind of hypocrisy that Donald Trump displays. Is you can't sit there and tell me that you are against abortions, and you are reportedly, you've actually had 2 abortions yourself. So again, I get it. You want actual proof. There have been some emails or some messages that they had a lot of it redacted. That there is some information that is verifiable on the abortions. Now, this is the same pack that took down Madison Cawthorn. Remember when they came out and they had said some things, and he came out and said, that's not going to happen. There's nothing they're going to have. And then all of a sudden, bam, you see the video where he's naked, humping on another guy. He's, dressed up as a girl and some other stuff and doing some other weird crap. These guys were truthful when they said they were going to take him down. And I think that we're only seeing the beginning of the takedown of Lauren Boebert. Now, here's the question for you. Did you also hear about the four-wheeler accident that involved her either sister or sister-in-law while her son was in the back of the four-wheeler? Did anybody hear about that? Pat Wright, I'm not going to try to get into involving the abortion issue. I normally reserve those types of things for when there are women on the panel and can actually help distinguish or articulate their perspective, because my perspective doesn't really mean diddly on that subject, because I will never have an abortion. So I'm not going to go down that path and talk about abortions tonight. But did you hear about that? The issue on the four-wheeler on the accident, she ended up trying to pay off her sister-in-law. And her sister-in-law had to have reconstructive surgery. She had a broken nose. And it wasn't even until like the very last moment in the primaries that Lauren Boebert ended up actually paying what she said she was going to pay. She didn't want I think she was intoxicated or there was some alcohol involved, and she was trying to cover it up. And that is also coming out of the woodworks too, regarding her dealings regarding that four-wheeler incident. Again, I'm not a news source. I'm just telling you what I saw. This is and read, and I know that these are current events that are going on out there. So what do you say? I mean, you keep moving around on different subjects that we're not talking about, Pat Riot, but tell me more about what have we been talking about with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. And see, Alan, I like to hear, I've heard so many internet truths too, but not from this particular pack. This pack has been 100% accurate on everything that they've reported thus far. That's why people are holding on to the credibility of what's being said, because they have been 100% accurate on the things that they've actually produced thus far. It was found out to be fraud by the same people that said there was nothing to see on Hunter Biden's laptop. What are you talking about? What's on Hunter Biden's laptop? Remember when they had it? Remember Tucker Carlson said he had it. It was going to be in a briefcase and sent to him. And then all of a sudden it got lost. I remember watching that show. And yeah, I do watch Fox News sometimes, guys. So again, I try to know what the other sides are saying. I like to know what people are talking about, not necessarily being spoon-fed one particular view from one particular channel. I go all over the place to get my information. So, but what are you talking about? About the Biden laptop. 3 years of Russian collusion, that was all fake. No, the Russian collusion wasn't fake. The findings from the investigation from the Mueller report was 100% accurate when they say that the Russians meddled in our elections and the 2016 elections. That's a fact. Now, was Trump, I don't think there was enough evidence to show that Trump specifically had anything to do with such meddling. But that is 100% not a fake story. There was Russian collusion and trying to involve themselves in the 2016 election. That's a fact. That's a fact. Hello, Coach. Nice to see you. Welcome to the after party. I'm still waiting on Pat Riot to kind of give me some information regarding anything that we've talked about with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. I mean, we're talking about those specific things, and also just the fraud, the election fraud, and people keep saying and skating around that it's a fact that Donald Trump knew he lost fair and square. Everybody told him that in his circle, and he knows and he knew that there was no fraud and there was no stealing of the election. I mean, you guys do believe that, right? And Truth Teller, you mentioned that Marjorie Taylor Greene is sadly the Trump wing of the government, very fringe, very unhinged. I 100% agree with you. It seems as if that is starting to become the norm, the more conspiracy theorist and conspiracy theories that you can promote and talk about. That seems to be what the GOP wants to hear. 275K in Facebook's ad. Are you talking about the Russian collusion? Yeah, that's what Zuckerberg and all the other social media companies were on Capitol Hill talking about misinformation. Who's buying these ads and why are people doing those things? That was a big deal. I don't know if you guys remember that Zuckerberg and Dorsey from Twitter, all those guys were on Capitol Hill and they were all talking about misinformation, and that's when people started flagging things and taking things down because they were misinformation on COVID, misinformation about the election. I think that's just the right way to go. Why would you want to continue to have fake information? And people are so impressionable these days, and I don't understand it. You get some people who say, oh my God, these snowflakes are so sensitive on this and they're so sensitive on that. But damn, why come nobody's actually talking about how easily people's minds are manipulated? Why are people so easily led astray from common sense? That's the part where I am just kind of baffled on why people just don't pay attention. They are so willing to go strictly down and listen, I've already said this, I'm not a Republican or Democrat, but I'm not sure if I was a 100% dedicated Republican that I would sit back and just say, man, Trump is the guy. I just don't get it. I mean, he's 4 years younger than Biden. It's either 4 or 6. 4 or 6? I think it's somewhere around there. So if you think Biden is too old to be president, why don't you think the exact same thing about Donald Trump? I mean, it's just baffling to me how people just want to put all stock in. There were Republicans before Donald Trump, and they did some good things too in politics. So I'm not exactly sure why people are hanging their hat on as a guy who has been proven, and it's going to be proven even more, that he's lies to you. He has been lying to the American people over and over and over. Oh yeah, everybody, listen. That's what people and Liz, you're right. Trump's ego just won't let him back down. I 100% agree with you. I think when people who have power, and I want to tell you a story, and I'm not going to name names, but I have people in my family that have made a lot of money, and when you get around people who make a lot of money, sometimes it's really hard for you to instill common sense on some of the things that they do. So when you have power, I can imagine also it'd be a lot of people who are trying to like talk you down off of certain things, and you're gonna go, I'm the man with the power. I'm the president. Don't tell me in anything unless I'm telling you what to tell me, what I need to think. So I'm telling you this is what I want to believe, and you just sit there and be a yes man and continue telling me, yes, I'm right when I say that there's fraud. That's an ego thing. That's a power grab. And I think a lot of people, and that's why he got rid of some of the people who were saying no to him. All his legal team gone. That's why he got Rudy Giuliani and the other cast of characters that were lawyers talking about this big lie. Even the lady who's being sued by Dominion, in her lawsuit even said this. She said, any person with common sense would know that the things I was saying was not factual. Not factual. And Jordan Colt, thank you for joining the stream. We appreciate you joining in here. Donald Trump can't put a sentence together. He gets the people's names mixed up that he's trying to endorse. You can play it over and over again. There are lots and lots of footage where Donald Trump stumbles over his words. So I'm not really big too on just making fun of people's transgressions or their missteps when they're speaking. I'm on this podcast. There are several times I get made fun of because I mispronounce the word, or I have to slur a word, or it comes out and I'm trying to catch up. My mouth is moving faster than my brain. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you start to like talk over or try to make a point about how someone's their speaking ability. I just doesn't hold a lot of weight when it comes to as far as I'm concerned. And listen, Trump hurt his own accomplishments. I don't know if there's a whole lot of accomplishments that he can even hang his hat on, but the very few that you can probably sit out there, you probably can count most of them, if not all of them, on one hand. He kind of sunk himself with some of the baffling statements he said about COVID, some of the lies he started talking about, and transgressions when it comes to this whole election stolen crap. He just kind of started making a mockery of himself way before the election was over. And he tried to predicate the election fraud by saying that if he loses the election, it's going to be because it was stolen. He set that up from the beginning. And he tried to use it, and he's still trying to use it, even after it's been debunked and debunked and debunked. I don't remember, C. Allen. I can't comment on things that I don't know. I don't remember if you're going to share an article or anything like that about when Biden was on stage saying that he was going to withhold money from the Ukraine until they fired the prosecutor looking into a Burisma. I don't remember seeing anything of that nature, but I do recall that Trump was actually going to withhold military aid until they said that he was going to be an investigation into Burisma and Hunter Biden, and that's on the video. I mean, on an audio recording. So that's 100% another fact that you're kind of proving my point here. If you're saying that Biden did it, but you don't believe that Trump did it when you heard it on the audio, that's kind of hypocrisy. If you can't point the finger at one person for doing something and then turn a blind eye on the other person. Be fair here. If you're gonna call it out for one person, call it out from both sides here. Listen, see, Alan, YouTube is YouTube. You can get a lot of information on there, but I don't use YouTube as any source for anything that I actually find. And I've always said I've seen news articles when I showed the clip from the video. The video I was able to stream for somebody posted. Multiple news outlets posted it on YouTube and their other streams, but there are also multiple organizations that are actually talking and writing about it. So if YouTube is your only source of information, you got to come with me, come a little bit more accurate with some more supportive details or your references here. We're not talking about Trump. That's the thing. We're not talking about Trump, Jordan Colt. I don't know what deranged syndrome you're speaking of, but the one thing that's pressing more and more in the news currently, whether it be 18 months or not, is the involvement that Trump had on the insurrection on January the 6th. And the fact that he flat out, blatantly frauded the American people by telling a lie. All the people he hired, all his legal teams, all of his administrative staff told him that there was no fraud even the night of the election. They told him the numbers just don't support you winning. And he was like, no, I don't believe it. And all the people around him were telling him there is no fraud. So why are you supporting someone are, all up in arms. And all I'm just telling you is that the facts are out there that Trump lied to the American people, and he propagated a scheme and a fraud on the American people. That's factual. I'm not saying anything that's not can't easily be looked into and found out to be 100% accurate. But anyway, I appreciate your comments, though. I really do. But if you got something that you can point me to that I can look at, I'll look at it. But see, Alan, show me the video. Tell me where that video is. Tell me where that news article is. Because if it's a speech by Biden and it was 100% verified and authentic, it should be on some kind of a website or something, right? Well, if you're looking if you're on YouTube, Liz, and you see my screen, you should be able to see the chats at least on the right here. All the chats should be on that window right there. Let me know if you can't see that. I'm not sure why you can't see them on the actual. Let me open up my YouTube here as well and see. Yeah, I can see them all here. Listen, Jordan Colt, tell me what came out of the Hunter Biden laptop. Educate me. I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you what current events are. These are news articles that are in the current realm of our everyday lives right now. These are current events. What is current? What do you know that was on the Biden laptop? That's a simple question. That's all I want to know. Point me to an article. Point me to someplace. I'm confused, Liz. You see two chat windows? Does it look weird? Because I'm looking at it on my Drinks and Discussions, and I see the live chats on YouTube. Then I'm also seeing, if anybody comes on Facebook or any other channels, I could see them up here on this window. But if you look all the way through the screen over in the white section, you should see the big chat. Anyway, so yeah, tell me something I don't know about Hunter Biden's laptop, please. No. So don't cop out. Don't get stage fright, Jordan. When I asked you to show me, I'm pleading ignorance here. I am willingly telling you I am uneducated on the Hunter Biden findings. You could probably put it into the comment section on the video, C. Allen, because I don't think you could put the links in the chat unless you're a moderator. I think I was educated by Megan on doing that. But yeah, don't clam up on me, Jordan. I didn't know that there was anything to be found about the Hunter Biden laptop. So let me know. And I also didn't get a chance to talk on the comment that I need to wake up and realize that Trump supporters aren't small. I know they're not small. I know a lot of them are in jail right now for storming the Capitol on January 6th. I know a lot of them are uneducated followers. I know a lot of them are, come from rural counties. So I understand the demographic in which Trump brings to the table. So I do know a little bit about what his followers are capable of because we've seen what they were capable of doing on January 6th. Oh, yeah, C. Allen. But you know what, C. Allen? You and I will have a dialogue after the fact. So when we close this stream down, you can get it to me, and I'll definitely watch it, and then kind of give you my 2 cents on whatever it is that I see. All right, I was trying to give anybody want to get some lasting comments on this subject before we move on to the last after party topic. I'd be more than happy to, again, Jordan Colt, I would love for you to, tell me what you found um, um, about this Hunter Biden thing. And I don't know you to believe it, but if you say it, I will try to my best to go out and try to, research it and see if there's something to it. All right. So, anybody else have any lasting things, Cialan, or anyone have any lasting things they want to talk about in as far as the political arena? Because I have something else I would like to share, and it's going to be on more of a lighter note. I think Liz. I think she's doing a different stream tonight as well. So I think she's got she's kind of helping other people do some other things. And I want to say hello to any of those guys over there. I know Joe and Saul were able to drop in and say hello to us. I want to give a great shout out to Vegas Valley. Say hello to those guys over there. Hats off to you guys. You guys are doing some big things over there. And I hope you guys are having a good evening over there. But I think that's where I think Megan is going to do some things over there with that stream. Yeah, Truth Taylor, you hit the nail on the head. Even if you believe in something or someone, that doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to the truth. Even if it makes the person that you went and said, "Hey, I support this person," if it makes your person look bad, even though it's the truth, just accept the truth. This isn't, if this was never a thing, Trump wouldn't be a bad guy. He brought this on to himself. I just don't understand why people are so hung up on supporting this guy when he's done so much harm. Let me ask you guys a question. Is it country over politics? Do you believe and I know we've gone to some other channels, most of you have seen other channels where you want to hold people accountable because the Constitution. If the Constitution is held so deeply and you have people who are violating that Constitution in the highest position of all the land, why is that okay? But then you want to say, the police officers or these people who work in these courthouses or these small precincts, you want to hold them accountable, but why are we not holding the president accountable? I don't know what you mean, Steve Allen. I mean, I don't understand why we're doing this. I'm talking about current, and you're pointing backwards here to either the Clintons or someone else. I'm trying to just stay on topic with current events. I don't know what you mean by why people are so huge up in the Clintons. I don't even have an idea what that is supposed to mean. And Truth Teller, you are probably one of a very minor, or one of the few minorities in what you said. A person who voted for Trump and then now says, "Man, I can't believe I voted for him and I will never vote for him. I can't support him now because of the things he's done." You are in the minority, I assure you. Hats off to you, brother, because the cult is very hard to get out of. And I'm sorry if I'm using the word occult if it offends anybody, but I think that the Trump followers are kind of like a cult. You kind of drinking the Kool-Aid, and come hell or high water, by golly, you're going to follow that man to the end of the world. I can't understand it. I'm just not made up to do something like that. I don't know. I'm saying why people are hung up on Trump, because that's the climate in which we are talking about. That is current events. You're talking about Clintons who ran and lost an election for Hillary, and another person, Bill Clinton, who hasn't been president since the 90s? And I'm not accusing you of voting for whoever, anybody. It's your personal, even if you did vote for Trump, I wasn't going to say anything. I'm just saying that the reason that we're talking about it because it is current. These are things that are happening now, C. Allen. That's it. Liz says she couldn't vote for a presidential candidate that tweeted. Yeah, and and there was a lot of things that Trump got out of it making the president more. And I know everybody like to say president was always out there talking to the cameras and stuff, but he never did a NCAA bracket, and all the other presidents, or a lot of the other presidents, did. The sports world stopped going up there and visiting the White House when they were winning because of his some of the things that he said. He just polarized and kind of just didn't maintain the integrity of the office. And in order for you to be a politician, I think any leader, I don't care what you do, you could be a leader of a group of people at work. The idea is to bring people of multiple diverse communities, put them in a room, and get something done. Every employer has a cast of employees that come from multiple economic backgrounds, religious backgrounds, political backgrounds. But when they come to the job, it's that manager, that leader's job to get them all on the same page and work as one cohesive unit. That's Trump's job. Trump's job is not to be polarizing to just one side of the aisle. The president is supposed to say, hey, even if you didn't vote for me, I am here to, represent you. I am here to make sure, that even if you didn't vote for me the one time, I'm going to sit here and try to get your vote the next time. That's, in my eyes, that's what a leader is supposed to do. I'm not saying that's right, but that's just how I feel. No, Hillary conceded that she lost the election. Every person conceded that they lost, except for Trump. Trump didn't even want to concede and stay into the White House to welcome the incoming administration. Remember that, guys? Left. How can you sit there when you saw that? I don't understand how people couldn't even stomach watching that. Talking about disgraceful and loss. How's that possible? Absolutely. I don't know how many people believe in the campaign promises when people are running for president or elected office anyway, because you can't have it. You can't have that. And yeah, Stacey Abrams is a good person in Georgia. Yeah, she never accepted she lost. That is 100% accurate, to tell her. And she was screaming because there was some voter intimidation and suppression. And there was some accuracy to her claims, but I think in hindsight, I think she probably regretted some of the things that she said and did and acted. But yeah, she was one of the few government not local here, but in Georgia, that didn't concede either. And I'm not really sure if she ever will recover because of that. And I know she's running in a race now, but I don't think she's gonna come out ahead against Brian Kemp either this year, or for this race either. Oh, she did. So you think she did, Liz? She did finally concede, like in a statement or something? I must have missed that, but I did hear that she was not conceding because of some things and some irregularities is what she was claiming to have done. But again, I'm not a big fan of people not answering a question on the current topic, but always trying to say, but what about this particular incident? Don't talk about another instance if you can't comment on this particular instance. There are other issues. There are other times where somebody did something, but why not comment about what is being done now? What about the fraud allegations and who's the stolen election and all of that nonsense? Do anybody still believe that the election was stolen? Oh yeah, Hillary. Yeah, you're right. She did eventually come out and concede. It was not on the night of the election for sure, and she didn't come out and say it on camera. Well, all right. Well, if nobody's going to really talk about what's really going on with how you feel about being lied to about a stolen election, when it has become factually proven that Trump knew that it wasn't stolen, he just wanted to propagate a lie to the American people. If you don't have anything else to say about that without referring to Biden's laptop or the Clintons or anybody else, I think we're ready to move on. And also, let me just tell everybody, I want to thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you guys joining and then participating in the after party. It's been really good. Appreciate everybody's comments and joining us on this Wednesday evening. So, newest of news. There's going to be a new celebrity in my neighborhood. And when I say my neighborhood, I'm not saying my next door neighbor. I'm just saying it's in the area in which I live. So if I can call this person a neighbor, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. To my utmost delight, Shaquille O'Neal is moving to my town, my city. I am happy to report. And I already have a friend, my wife has a friend actually, who works at a clothing store, big and tall clothing store, and she has actually run into Shaquille O'Neal already in the area. And this was before he even had made the announcement that he was actually moving or buying a house here. He's also opening, I didn't even know, and I don't know the name of the place, the restaurant, but he's opening up a few restaurants here in the area as well. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Shaquille O'Neal in the area, and I, for one, couldn't be happier. Housing values are going to increase, even though they already have. It's crazy. And Liz lived in the same lake as on the same lake as Dolph Lundgren. Oh, geez. Mr. Mensa himself. A lot of people don't even know that. Dolph Lundgren, who was the guy, the Russian in Rocky IV, and also played in some of the Sylvester Stallone Expendable movies and a lot of other things, is a very intelligent individual. He is part of the Mensa group, which people who have a very high IQ. I'm hoping to see him. I don't know if you, Liz, did you ever see Dolph Lundgren? And truth teller, did you ever see Kid Rock when you were living close to him? Is that before he became famous or after he became famous? Yeah, Liz, Shaq is a very, what you see is what you get. What you see him on TV, he's not faking that. He's a very genuine guy. I've seen a lot of things where even just somebody else is just posting stuff about the things that he does for the little kids. He goes into a store, he'll buy them shoes, laptops, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of good things that Shaq does. I sat and watched the interview with him, and they were talking about some of the regrets and stuff that he has as he's grown up and matured. And one of the things he's openly talked about is that, you know, he kind of regrets how things happened between him and his wife, or ex-wife, and how he had wished that had been a little bit differently, because a lot of it was on him, he felt, regarding that divorce. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, eating at his restaurant and seeing what that's all about. Seeing if maybe I'll run into him at Kroger and looking, buying a gallon of milk. Maybe I'll see him at that. Kid Rock has a popular restaurant in Michigan. I didn't even know he was a restaurateur. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren was probably. I didn't know he was a football player briefly either. Never knew that. I will tell you, one of my friends, who's been on the chat on one of the live streams with me before, as an ex-football player for the Green Bay Dolphins. Green Bay Dolphins. I can't believe I'm sitting up here reading Dolphin. I said Dolphins. The Green Bay Packers. And I just saw he had a reunion with some of his fellow Green Bay Packers, Donald Driver and a couple of those other guys. He was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, just over the weekend, and I saw some of the videos and some pictures and stuff like that he had posted. And I can't wait because he's back, and I'm going to probably run into him tomorrow on the golf course. And I kind of want to maybe even sit down and have another conversation with him, because that's kind of cool to kind of go back in and reminisce about some of the guys you were on the same team with. I'm a big football guy, guys. So in case you didn't know, I love football. I'm a big Cowboy fan, but I also like other teams. But I am 100% a NFL football player. Some college, if it's my Razorbacks, I'll watch that. But outside of that, I'll talk on some of the other sports. But when football season gets here, Liz, be prepared to be bored for the first hour of Drinks and Discussions. Bill Gates asked how much a gallon of milk costs, and he said $18. What the fudge? I know inflation is high these days, folks, but $18. I'm going to go buy me a cow if I'm paying $18 a gallon, and I'm going to be milking Betsy in the backyard if I had to for $18 a gallon. I'm going straight to the teat. Straight to the teat. I'm not paying $18 for it. I don't even drink a whole lot of milk. My 4-year-old drinks milk, but I'm not a big milk drinker. I've been trying to lose weight, so I've been eating more like cold cereal with milk instead of eating eggs and waffles every morning for breakfast. So I guess I have been drinking a little bit more milk than normal, but I'm not a big fan of milk. He has a restaurant in Detroit as well. Well, what kind of food? Is it like home cooking kind of a restaurant? What is a specialty for Kid Rock? Yeah, Thumper. You love the Cowboys, man. It's going to be on, man. It's on, and on. Are you I think you are in the area, Dallas, Texas. In the Texas. I don't want to say Dallas, but you're in the Texas area too, correct, Thumper? 88? I think I heard you say something last night that you were in the area because you were making comments about something in local that we were talking about. All right. Well, again, thank you guys all. I'm going to start wrapping it up. I didn't really mean to be on here for the hour and a half that we're on. I just trying to jump on here, talk about the movies. And again, leave some movies in the chat, guys. I'll pick a couple of them, watch one or two, and then I'll give you guys my honest opinion. Just because you pick one, it could be a bad movie. I'm not going to call you out and say that you gave me a bad movie or you told me it was good. I'm just going to say if I haven't seen it, and I'm trying to go back on some of the movies that you guys, if you just said, hey, I can't believe you haven't seen this movie, I'll go back and watch it. Because some of the newer movies, I've been kind of on point on watching some of the new ones. So anything that you think you saw in the past that you can watch again right now, put it in the chat and bring me back, and I'll download it and see if I can kind of watch it, and I'll give you a good review of what I think of the movie. I'm not sure if the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are a big thing. I know they still perform, but I've been to a couple of Dallas Cowboy games. I don't really pay attention to them. I know they don't show them a whole lot on TV, if ever. So I'm not really sure why. I know it's tradition, but I'm not really sure why cheerleaders are still doing their thing on the football field. I don't know why that's still a thing. I really have no opinion on cheerleaders at all, to be honest with you, because I never pay attention to them. When I was a young kid, I used to, of course. They look gawking at the women, but now you don't care about it too much anymore. I don't know much about Kid Rock. I know a couple of his songs, but I think he's one of those guys, too, that drank the Kool-Aid. He's drank the Donald Trump Kool-Aid. And I think some of the things he's kind of said in that political realm has kind of struck me as very odd and weird that he would say some of the things that he says. Final thoughts, anyone? Oh, Grand Prairie. Okay, I know where Grand Prairie is, but Joe Pool Lake. All right. Thumper. Glad to see a local on the chats, man. I appreciate you. Man, I really do. All right, guys. Thank you again. We'll catch you next Tuesday with the regular cast and crew. I appreciate you guys being able to stay here and kind of look at my ugly mug for the hour 25 minutes that you have. I appreciate everyone. See Alan, Truth Teller. I think Truth Teller, this is your first time being on our stream. I don't think I've ever seen you and in the chats before. So I want to welcome you. If you have been here before, and I have missed you, I apologize. And welcome back. But if this is your first time, welcome. We have a larger cast of hosts on Tuesday. This is just an after party, kind of a quick and dry and dirty kind of thing to kind of cover things that we didn't have a chance to talk about on our Tuesday stream. And hopefully you'll be able to join us then as well. I know that there was, I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, but there was the other gentleman. What was his name? What was his name, guys? Pat Riot. Pat Riot. We appreciate you joining. I don't know if you're still in there as well, but again, we are on Tuesdays is where we are normally streaming. I wanted to just kind of do this after party because there were some things that we missed, but we appreciate your involvement. Our regular casting crew, Liz, Thumper, C. Allen, I always appreciate you guys' support and doing what we do over here. And if there's anybody else I missed, I apologize, but I always appreciate that. I know Megan was on here for a little bit. Jordan Colt, I don't think this was your first time as well, but hopefully you'll come back as well and see some of the different perspectives that we have on not just some things political, but just all things that we talk about as well. So hopefully we'll see you again. And everybody else, I want you guys to have a great evening. And we will hopefully see you guys again next Tuesday. Yes, Liz, I know. I said that at the beginning. I do need to shave. I'm getting a little scruffy. So it has been a busy week, and I've been trying to, I've been doing this routine where I'm actually boxing again. And so it's taken a lot out of me. And so after I'm done and I shower, I just kind of been just kind of a lazy bum. I've just been so out of shape for so long. For me, I mean, when I say I'm out of shape, I'm not really out of shape. I'm just for me. And so I'm trying to do a whole lot of different things now to get back into shape and summer shape. And, we're swimming these days, and I want to make sure that I don't look like too much of a dad bod when I'm swimming. So I've been letting myself go on the shaving, and I'll make sure I tighten that up by Tuesday. Thank you, Truth Teller. Good night. Be well as well. Be well, my friend. Also, and everybody else on the stream. Everybody have a healthy and happy evening, and we'll see you guys next